Okay, Deo, welcome to the Labrador Energy Podcast. How's it going?
What up, bro? I'm doing good.
Good to see
How's
you,
it going?
man. Not bad, bro. Like I'm here, fucking stuck in social isolation. I have. I think the last human contact that I had was about. Well, not contact, but it's like interaction was about 3 days ago. I went and I played ball with Anna because Anna lives around here. So she has like a ball, and we
Anna
went to.
Barris?
Yeah, yeah. She lives like I live in Neukölln next to Vidura, Foster, Anna. I saw Kate 2 weeks ago.
Did you guys check yourselves or something? Did you go to the hospital and shit?
No, it didn't. I mean, there hasn't really been any symptoms or anything of the sorts, right? So hasn't, and we haven't actually. We've kind of kept like one
All
meter
right.
and a half distance because basically, playing foot like passing the ball around is not really a health hazard, right? So that's kind of been pretty much it.
Yeah,
I
wait,
haven't.
wait, wait. Were you playing football or basketball?
No, no, no. Football. So with an
Uh,
actual, yeah. So just kick the ball.
oh, all
Well,
right,
it's not.
man.
It's not football. It's just kind of like passing the ball from one to another, right?
And that was the most human connection you've had in a while.
I mean, other than yeah, man, because like where you go, you can't really meet people, right? And there's no place to meet them. Have you met a lot? I mean, you've been going skateboarding. I saw from your Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, a bunch.
Is that
Not really with the health regulations, but
is that like outdoors somewhere, or how's that set up for you guys?
yeah, yeah. Usually people would go to parks and like skate parks and stuff,
Hmm.
but the parks are blocked out, so like you're not technically allowed to skate the skate parks, so we just go and skate streets. So it's
Okay. So
no
then no
skate.
one kind of does the police kind of stop you or anything? Because I've seen a lot of police cars around here.
One time at Alexanderplatz, but other than that, no. But it was a very aggressive fucking thing. The guys almost like pepper sprayed us and shit. We are like, yo, we're leaving, relax.
Oh, really? Just because you guys were like in a group, or?
Yeah, yeah. They're like, you're not keeping up with Corona laws, and we're like, yo, dude, chill. Look, we have like more than 2 meters away from each
Right.
other. The dudes are just going crazy. You're like, more than two people.
Right. Ah, okay. I see. This was like when 2 weeks ago, or
Huh?
this was like recently, or like earlier in the crisis.
Uh, 1 week, 1.5 weeks ago, or something like maybe 1 week ago. I don't know. Time is weird. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling me, bro. Like I have no like I thought today was Monday. Turns out it's Friday. Hey.
You thought today was Monday?
Yeah, because like I don't really have like a point of I don't know, like a point of what do you call it reference in terms of days because like there's no comedies, there's no Monday Night Mics, there's nothing, right?
Hmm. Which is fucking scary. Do you do the online shows?
So I haven't done the online shows, but what we've been doing is we've kind of been doing some joke writing online, like basically for the past couple of days, for the past couple of weeks, just like a small group of people around like 7 p.m. I can add you to the group if you want, and we kind of like so, huh?
Sure.
So the idea is like, but originally we started off by doing writing around like 7 p.m., but then obviously that kind of degenerated into just kind of catch ups. So then
Okay.
it stopped being as much writing as much just like kind of it was me, Anna, Daniel Olel, Carl, who else? Sometimes Pascal joins. So basically just a
Which
couple,
Carl?
hmm?
Which Carl?
Colombian Carl,
Okay.
and just kind of bouncing ideas off trying to do some writing. The problem is with all writing in this period of time is a lot of the writing kind of tends to, naturally gravitate towards Corona, right?
Nah, I write the dumbest shit, dude. I write all day, actually. Every time that I get a random idea, I'm like, I try to write something about
What
it.
you what you been putting down?
Dude, it's like all types of dumb shit that could go somewhere, but I don't know. I could tell you like two or three of them.
All
They're
right,
like
hit me up, hit me up.
stupid though. Prepare yourself. Very stupid jokes. All
Uh
right.
huh.
All right. So, one time I was like doing stuff with this lady, right?
Hmm.
And she's about to like, we're like already making out. It's already cool. And she's like, starts to pull down my pants. And
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, oh, this is gonna be fun, right? So she pulls down my pants, looks at it for like a second, and goes, "Okay, that's big." And I'm like, dude, you don't need to lie. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, why are you like? I know what I'm dealing with. You
Right,
don't need
right.
to like flat for no reason. And she goes, "No, no, it's big, but it's not huge." And I'm like, all right. So instantly I pushed her away, right? And I went to rewrite all my small dick jokes. So now I have a couple different ones. You want to hear them?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I walk into a bar, kind of sad, right?
Hmm.
And the barman asks me, why the long face? And I'm like, I'm compensating. And he's like, small dick? I'm like, no, it's big, but it's not huge.
Okay, yeah. That's a nice callback. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I was gonna say I wrote something recently because I'm doing more YouTube, and I wrote this joke about like I've joined the YouTube world, and I already got my first fan with a comment on YouTube. The first comment I got was, "Oh, great, another jackass with a webcam," which kind of hurt my feelings because I was using a 4K camera, which cost me a lot of money. So I thought that was pretty chill. But all right, let's kind of do a bit of an introduction for those that don't know you. Deo Katunga from Bulgaria on the Labrador Energy podcast. Tell us a bit more about you, Deo. What's your deal?
More about me? What do you want
Yeah, like just a general kind of introduction, like where you're from, how'd you end up in Berlin? A little bit of, and then we can try to like orient the conversation somewhere where just kind of ask around questions and find out more about what makes you tick and where your Labrador energy lies.
I don't know, man. Shit's weird. I came to Berlin, I think about 6 years ago, 2014, September. I came here to skateboard, basically.
Okay.
So I skateboarded, and I still skateboard.
How long have you been skateboarding for?
12 years.
Okay. Did you pick that up in Bulgaria, or is it when you moved to Germany?
No. I picked it up when I was in Bulgaria, obviously.
Okay.
I haven't been 12 years in Germany, dude. Come on, do math.
How long have you been here for? Because I know you were in Dusseldorf for a while, right?
Yeah, I was in Dusseldorf for the first 4 years. I was in Dusseldorf for a year and something. Then I went to live in Essen for a year.
Okay.
Then I came back to Dusseldorf for like half a year or a year, and then I moved here to Berlin.
Right.
First I was for a month, and then went to Dusseldorf for a year or so on. So.
Gotcha. And how'd you end up moving to Dusseldorf from Bulgaria? Because you were born in Bulgaria, right?
Yeah. So my sister was living in Dusseldorf, and I went to a friend of mine was like, "You want to go to Germany?"
Okay.
I was like, "Sure, but I don't got really money for that shit." And he's like, "Oh, it's all good. I'm going by car, so we can drive there, and then you can live in my place until you figure your shit out." I was like, fuck Bulgaria, let's go. You know what I mean?
Sounds like Labrador energy, bro. But did you already speak German when you came over, or is it just English and Bulgarian?
Nothing. No lick of German.
Okay, and then you just picked it up here, or did you do classes or anything, or?
No, I just picked it up from talking to people.
Oh, okay, and just interacting.
Work, so
Okay. Wait, so you? Okay, so had you finished high school when you moved over from Bulgaria, or were you still in high school? Okay, you finished it. Okay.
High school actually earlier, like way earlier, like a year and a half or 2 years earlier.
Okay, and because you were just that smart.
I don't know. I just started very early.
Okay, and so for those of you that don't know, your background is you're Bulgarian and your dad is from Congo. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Which Congo? Because there's a couple of Congos, right?
Kinshasa.
Okay, nice. And he moved over. How old was he when he moved over to Bulgaria?
Shit, about 20.
Oh, okay. So like just studying. Because I saw like the past couple of days what I've been doing is I've been spamming subreddits, basically Eastern European subreddits with my Eastern European comedy.
For real?
Yeah, bro, because I'm trying to get more subscribers to my YouTube, right? So, I mean, I'm not spamming them. Basically, I've just kind of cut up a couple of my Eastern European jokes and I post them. Hey, guys, I do some Eastern European-oriented comedy. I thought you guys might appreciate it. They don't. But
that's the weirdest way to get fucking YouTube followers. Reddit.
No. I'm joking. Actually, the majority of them, like, I'm big in the Albanian subreddit, okay?
What?
I'm not even joking. And I got like a lot of good feedback from the Albanian one. The Polish one is pretty good as well. I got like 100 upvotes. So it's actually working. It's getting me some decent amount of subscribers, right?
100 upvotes.
Yeah, man. It's like, people...
Like, you're crazy.
Bro, it works. And then everybody... Because, I put like the thumbnail for one of my videos was Life is Hard, which is like the number one kind of clickbait thing for like everybody in Eastern Europe. It's like, yeah, I identify with that. Click. So anyway, I was actually in the Moldovan. I was in the subreddit from Moldova, and these guys were passing around a video of this guy that had moved over from, I think it was from Nigeria. He'd moved over from Nigeria to Moldova to study, right? And the guy was speaking fluent Romanian. Well, Moldova, they speak Romanian as well. But he was speaking like Romanian with a Moldovan accent. And they were asking him, hey, man, how'd you end up in Moldova? And then he was like, I wanted to come to Europe to study. And somehow I ended up in Moldova.
Why are you doing the guy with the freaking Eastern European accent?
Because he had like an Eastern European accent actually. So imagine like an African dude, a Nigerian dude speaking with like a Romanian kind of accent. It was like it was pretty funny. So I thought that was pretty cool because it sounds like it's very interesting with your situation with your dad, right?
Mm.
So how was it growing up in Bulgaria as a Bulgarian black dude?
It's kind of weird, dude. I don't know. People aren't like that welcoming as one would think. But you figure that out maybe like slightly later because I have like good and have like a group of people that I can always like hang out with,
right.
And I know they're not gonna do like some weird shit or whatever, but that happened like through like a lot of years of like seeing a lot of people that are hella sketchy and shit. I moved for school because of racist teachers.
Racist teachers, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, I think if you look at Eastern Europe, it's still kind of in the process of, evolving as a nation culturally. And so it's still kind of like, it's still somewhat backwards in some aspects of it. Because I remember like, for myself, when I was kind of like going to school, you still had a lot of situations. I mean, I got hit by teachers a couple of times.
No.
Bro.
That's normal for Bulgaria, man.
And when I tell people, they're like, what? And it's not like even like, like, oh, slap on the wrist. Like, bro, I got backhanded like, boom. And then he came in for the return, And then another time for the third one. It was my biology teacher.
The third one was a lie. Admit.
No, bro, it came like, and I had like long hair at the time and it fucked up my hair. The teacher died 2 years later, which made me extremely happy.
You're tripping, dude.
Bro, I was like,
the teacher died and you were happy.
I was like, yeah, I had like a lot of, because the thing is, it came out of nowhere because I was just talking. So I'm trying to integrate that to my comedy. There's a lot of this fucked up stuff that I'm trying to bring into the comedy. But basically,
you were emo. Admit you were emo.
I wasn't emo. No, I wasn't. I was listening to. Now I wasn't.
Ska punk.
I wasn't. I was listening to like Rise Against. Do you know Rise Against?
Yeah, Rise Against the Machine.
Yeah, no. Rise Against is another one. Rise Against the Machine is one, which is more like rock, and another one is like more alternative punk rock.
Well, I'm saying dumb shit. It's Rage Against the Machine.
You Rage Against the Machine, yeah. But I wasn't really like. I mean, I was listening to the music, but I wasn't like a visual kind of like a rock kid. I was always more like into indie or alternative kind of stuff.
You said you had long hair, no?
Yeah, but it wasn't like long hair down to here. It was kind of like up to here.
So you had like a bob cut.
Kind of. I mean, I think I did have a couple of haircuts at home back in the day.
Do you have photos? Show me photos.
I don't have any actually. I think I've deleted all of them. I do have some from like I need to look into that. I basically have my mom kind of my mom kind of posts them every now and then on her Facebook, and then she tags me.
Dragos hiding his past.
So it's like it's basically like 3 pictures of Jesus and then one of me. Don't they look the same? Kind of.
Your mother thinks you look like Jesus?
No, I'm not at all. But she just kind of like spams her wall with a lot of Jesus pics.
That's a funny premise.
It is,
My
yeah.
mom thinks I look like Jesus.
Basically, she thinks I'm gay. Hey.
Jesus wasn't gay.
I mean, he did hang around with 12 dudes.
Yeah.
But then it was the Middle East, so I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, so, with Bulgaria, that was, basically things were kind of, what's the word? Complicated. Whack.
Complicated.
I think that would be the correct nomenclature, whack.
The strange thing is that, I mean, it's not really strange, but like every time that I bring it up in conversation or like an interview or something, Bulgarians are like, man, what the fuck, man, fuck you. Why are you speaking bad about Bulgaria? I'm like, dude, that's literally what I've lived through. What do you want me to lie that it was like fucking sunshine and rainbows? Like, get out of here.
I mean, that's one of the things about comedy is you have to it's your experience and you have the right to kind of tell it which way you want to, right? Whichever way you experience. And I got a lot, what happened to me once, I was doing, so I used to do a lot more negative jokes about Romania. And then I was doing the show in Barcelona. I went there for a weekend and I did the show. The joke was, Romania has a long tradition of sucking. We gave the world Dracula. So we started off sucking blood, but that stopped being profitable. So then we moved up the ladder and stopped sucking dick. This is then the joke was
just a bad joke.
Bro, no, let me finish. Which brings me because I would start off with like we are known for for 2 exports. One of them is the Roma community, and number 2 was prostitutes. So that was how the joke would start, right? Like early on when I was doing comedy. And then when I did that joke, there were like two ladies that got up and walked out of the show that were Romanian.
You had walkouts on your show?
Yeah, because they were like, that's offensive. And then they were like Romanian. And
so then I haven't had a walkout yet, man.
So then I kind of stopped doing all those offensive Romanian jokes. But again, it's kind of like a way to deal with, I think, with a lot of the negative kind of, clout that you get sometimes because of the nationality. Because, realistically, sometimes, let's say I especially, this happens a lot with French people. When I say I'm from Romania, a lot of French people do the joke of like, oh, better hide my wallet. And they're like, all right.
But, it's funny though.
What's that?
Like, the people that are Bulgarian and come to shows are rarely offended. Like, they just come up to me afterwards and go like, are you really from Bulgaria? And I'm like, yeah, really? Yeah, really? Yeah, I am from Bulgaria. They're like, oh, that shit is so true. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, but I think the point is just to kind of, there'll always be like one or two guys that kind of, get offended on behalf of it. And it's kind of like these guys, but a lot of times they're not outside of the country, or the people that are like so patriotic or so in love with the idea of the country, right? That they basically lash out. Because, realistically, if you loved it so much, why are you here? But
no, shit's weird. But people always want to like move up, and Bulgaria just has like a very quick glass ceiling where you just try to jump basically, and it's already there. You're not even like full on extended jump. You just go, oh shit,
And
like,
in terms of
very, very quick.
In terms of basically just kind of like nepotism, right?
What is nepotism?
Nepotism is kind of like when you give, let's say you're in a position of power and you give like jobs and opportunities to your family or your friends or your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
So then that used to happen a lot in Romania as well. I don't know if it's still the case now, and I think I'm not in a position to talk about it as much because I've been away for like 12 years. So I think a lot of it's changed, but a lot of it's changed, but a lot of the stuff's probably still the same. But
yeah, Bulgaria changed for sure, dude.
But in terms of...
I haven't been in a bit to Bulgaria, but I think Bulgaria's changes as well.
When's the last time you went there?
2 years ago or something.
Okay. Yeah, I've been back to Romania last year in August. And physically it's changed. And I see a lot more, basically a lot more hipsters, a lot more hipster cafes. A lot less hate towards the gay parade.
Nice.
Because, back in the day when I was there, they used to have like a lot of... the church would have, back in 2002 or 2003, the church would have like a normality parade.
A normality parade?
Yeah, so basically...
That's cool, though. That's cool.
Bro, there's just like a lot of homophobes like marching next to the gay parade. So it's not...
For real?
Yeah. And there are situations...
Okay, that's not cool.
Not cool.
But like just having a normality parade is cool because it's like, hey, I'm normal. I mean, not... Don't call it a normality parade, but call it like a straight parade or
straight parade. Something. Yeah, because I think, obviously...
I'm happy I'm straight, dude. I don't know.
There were... so one would say that you're gay, that you're straight? You're gay to be straight? Because, gay means happy?
Gay is happy. I'm happy to be gay. I'm happy to be straight.
But, yeah, so then you have a lot more of... what the fuck? You have a lot more acceptance towards just general, the freedom mindset, not judging people. But... I don't know. I think in terms of the comedy that they kind of do, in terms of the Eastern European comedy that I do and that you do as well, I think obviously it does it does kind of appeal a lot more to the, what would you call it, the expat Eastern European community, right?
Yeah.
Have you bumped into other people with similar background as yours, like in terms of Bulgarian Congolese or Bulgarian Nigerian or something?
Fuck no, dude. Are you kidding me? We were the only black family in the fucking, I don't know what crazy fucking kilometer radius. There was
Sofia,
like maybe 4 black families when I was back in Bulgaria, and I think I'm still the only black dude in my age from there.
Right, from that generation. And how was
There's literally no other black guy, like literally no other black dude, man. So,
you were the country's black friend.
Basically, I was like the token black dude, man. Straight up. There was no other black dude in skateboarding. There was one guy that they would call the nigga, but he would just be like a very black white dude, just very tanned white dude, and they would call him the nigga because he would wear like big pants. And I remember one time because he was like very good at skateboarding, right?
Right.
I looked up to the dude, and back then the N-word like didn't mean shit to me, basically.
Right.
I was the only black guy. I didn't know it was offensive because
Right,
every
right,
white dude was saying it to my face, and I was
right,
like, oh,
right.
it's whatever. And I walk up to this dude, and I'm like, oh, you're, because his name was Stoyan. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, you're Stoyan, because I was like super impressed by the guy. He's like
Right.
super good. I'm like, oh, you're Stoyan the nigga. And he's like, no, you're the nigga. I'm
Okay.
Stoyan.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
okay, dude.
Okay.
And just
So
like pushed away into the
okay.
distance. I was like,
Okay.
wow, that is Stoyan the nigga. He
Okay.
talked to me.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up, but also pretty, an interesting trait to have. It's interesting because at the moment in Romania, like when I was growing up, there was this black dude on TV. He basically his name was Cabral, and I think what happened
We had one
was
guy was called Kofe Babone.
Cofe Bone. Was he like a football player or something, or just a random dude?
No, he was just like a weightlifter guy, but he would basically blackface, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's
He's
a
like a
level of
black dude. He's like a straight up black dude, but he would represent black people very, very badly. But he would be like the most famous black person in
right.
Bulgaria.
Okay.
And he couldn't like speak Bulgarian that good. He always had like
Right.
a sketchy accent, you know, just like a dumb weightlifter dude. But he was
Hmm.
black, and that's the only like black person that they showed on TV,
Right. Okay.
which is crazy. Actually, last year or like 2 years ago when I went to Bulgaria, he was in something like a Big Brother or whatever.
Okay.
And during the time where there's a Big Brother in Bulgaria, there's also like a spoof TV show, which is called like Droob Brother or something weird with like
Okay.
play on the words like Big Brother, whatever.
Hmm.
And they get comedy actors to act like the people that are in the house, but
Right.
like talk dumb shit, and like it's like a complete parody of
Okay.
Big Brother.
Right. Okay. I
And
see.
they put this white comedian dude in full on blackface to act like this Coffee Babana dude, and that
Wow.
was like 2 years ago.
Well,
Yeah,
2 years ago. Wow, that is some fucked up.
prime time television black. It's like straight up blackface, straight up blackface
Straight up blackface.
with
Yeah,
like
man.
the big red lips, like on purpose. Everything else is black, and you can see that it's like shitty blackface too. You know, just
Mm.
like painted on, and it's not really there. And you can see like the white through his. It's sketchy shit, dude.
Yeah, man,
Straight up,
that is
up
fucked.
sketchy shit.
Was it like a I mean number one, number two time television? Like was it like a shitty kind of like tabloid television network, or is it one of the main
No,
ones?
no, no, no. Primetime television, bro. Biggest one of the, because there's like three.
Right.
I don't know if they've changed names, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like on the top one. So Big Brother is like here
Mm-hmm.
because everyone always watches Big Brother in Bulgaria
Right.
almost, and then this was here,
Bless
like
you,
the
man.
second most watched show. Thank you.
It's interesting because I mean Corona,
There's a lot of dust in here,
the
man.
Cardi B stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. 'Cause, like I think a lot of it. I'm on TikTok now. I don't know if you're on TikTok recently. Have you joined the TikTok craze?
No, but I make a lot of comedy videos that I'm gonna drop on Instagram soon.
I think you should.
Watch out for that.
So let me kind of so give you a crash course on TikTok. So actually, TikTok is really big in Eastern European countries at the moment.
It's
Uh,
big everywhere, dude.
I think it's not as much in Germany, is it? I mean, I don't know a lot of people in Germany that are using it.
Because Germans aren't that funny.
That's true. That's true. But apparently, it's one of its number one countries is Romania in terms of usage in Europe. And in Romania, Bulgaria, and I've been putting some of my stuff on there, and it's just like shitty clips from like Joke Time and whatever. And I've managed to kind of like organically get about 4,000 followers, which is just like
dude, you do some magic shit with that. I
no,
don't think it's.
I didn't do anything. So in one of the videos, has about 120,000 views. Well, let me tell you how they do it. 'Cause
Oh,
I looked into it, and that's what I'm saying. You should check out and put some of your skateboarding stuff or some of your clips from comedy there, because the way that their algorithm works is as opposed to Instagram where you have to follow people, you don't have to follow anybody here, and they suggest you content based on your Facebook information. So when you log into TikTok, they pull all the you log in with Facebook or whatever, right? So then on your Facebook, they get the information on your date of birth, your place of birth, your nationality, age, and all that kind of stuff. And then when you create content, they show your content to other people in your age range. So, for example, when you consume content on TikTok, you just scroll down, right, to see more stuff. So it's quite probable that you're going to see like 3-4 clips, maybe even 5 clips a minute, right? And then what happens is the people curate the content. So, for example, if you like something, you click heart on it. You like it. And then the more people like it, the more they show it to other people. So for
Yeah, obviously.
example, yeah, some more. So for example, if you have something that's pretty cool, pretty impressive, or a comedy video, it has to be under 1 minute, which kind of makes it a bit viney. They'll
No,
show
that's
it to
easy.
more people. So I put up some of my Romania, the Mexico of Europe stuff there, and basically started showing it because it was getting liked by a lot of people from Romania. And started showing it to more Romanians. Now I'm getting a bit of a following from Romania, but the majority of the people, the age range is 15 to 22.
Okay.
So it's
But
not
you're not
over.
either 15 to 22. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, because those are the people that are kind of like liking it, right? So it shows it to them. So
Okay.
initially started showing it to like 25-year-olds, 27-year-olds, 29-year-olds, but then more and more and then they expand the range based on just to kind of test out, right? So
Gotcha.
the thing is, a lot of these kind of, if you're 15 to 22, you're probably not going to spend, 8 to 10 euros on a comedy show. So they're probably not going to be able to come to my comedy show now, but like later on in the future, and it transfers into subscribers for YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So you should definitely check it out. I think it might be really cool. And based on that, actually, what I've kind of been seeing is, speaking of kind of like this, growing up in Romania, Bulgaria from a different background, I've started seeing like a couple of Asian people, Kazakhstani, Mongolians speaking Romanian. Exactly right. And doing TikToks in Romanian, and they basically blow up because everybody's like, "Whoa, where is this Kazakhstani guy speaking Romanian?"
That's cool.
And a lot of them are basically medical
Racism.
students. No, there are a lot of them are medical students, or if they move to Romania to study medicine, right? Because nowadays, if you move from Kazakhstan to Romania, Romania is the West, right? Especially same with Bulgaria, especially because you're in the European Union, you live there for 5 years, you get citizenship or you get like residency, then you can fuck off somewhere else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then there are also a couple of guys from I think Nigeria and I think mostly from Nigeria, to be honest, that they were doing TikToks in Romanian.
Okay.
And they're basically lip syncing to Romanian folk music.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know, right? It's like obviously getting a lot of traction, and some of them were basically singing and lip syncing to Chalga, which is
Chalga's from Bulgaria too, dude. That
yeah.
shit's weird.
So then we get that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting, and a lot of the reason I'm bringing it up because I was looking at the comments, I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be some racist stuff," but the comments from this, newer generation of 15 or 16-year-olds, they're very supportive and very like appreciative. So they're like very deliberate. There are a couple of racist comments as well.
Obviously.
Yeah, but then majority of it is very woke. So I was like, okay, good on you, Romania. This is nice to move in that direction. But I want to ask you a bit more about the skateboarding stuff. Because you've been a professional, you did pro skating for a while. You still do it, or how's that working out? Or
I'm still doing it, dude. But the weirdest thing is like it's sometimes if you like drop out for a little bit, or let's say you lose some sponsors, then it's like really hard to like double up and then go back to the situation. And right now I'm just on the struggle. You know what I mean?
But is there a big like what's the skateboarding kind of community in Europe? Is like Germany the epicenter of it? Is it somewhere else, or how's it kind of look?
Germany is not the epicenter. I think there's no like epicenter of stuff. It's like more of a like everyone can see you if you're doing your shit correctly. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not before. It used to be kind of separate. Like way back, it used to be like more the States would like run shit, and then Europeans every now and then would kind of like be able to do stuff or be seen. But now it's like it's everywhere. Like Europeans are crazy good, and Americans are crazy good, and everything. Like in skateboarding, is more about style than anything. If you got like good style, it's fine. You can do like the simplest trick. Wait, I'm gonna explain skateboarding because like some people like made a lot of fun of me for comparing comedy to skateboarding.
Right.
I'm like, oh, comedy is like skateboarding, but now I can explain skateboarding through comedy for the people that like are more comedians. So basically, skateboarding community works like this. It's like doing a set for a room full only of comedians. So you're doing constantly only sets in front of comedians, and you have everyone in the whole community has about 80 jokes, and depending on how you connect the jokes, that's how you get laughter or not.
Right. Okay. You get new ones. You basically have to be innovative and create new ones.
Well, there's no really that much things that you can create anymore because everything has been done.
Okay.
But you can say the same 80 jokes in a fucking variety of different ways and combinations, and and if you don't know the 80 jokes, you're kind of like, it's not that you're looked down upon, but like if you know all the 80 jokes, people are like, damn, that's good,
Right.
based on the 80 jokes that you can already do,
Mhm.
that everyone can basically do.
Right.
It depends on like which ones you use when, and
Right,
that's
right,
how
right.
people know like, all right, this guy's good or not.
The
You know?
combo. So have you seen anybody do all 80 in a row?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not like I don't know. It's weird to say because there's 80 jokes, right?
Mhm.
And that's just the surface of things. Then you
Right.
have 80 jokes to do towards this, to do towards that, to do
Right.
towards, and it's weird. There's a lot of like combinations of things, obviously, that you can do. It's not like 80-80, but you can connect those to grinds, you can connect those to slides, you can connect
Right.
those to stairs, so on and so forth.
I mean, obviously, it's a lot more in comedy. You don't break a leg if you fail the joke, right?
Yeah, and that's also a thing. But I don't know.
So that's still degree of mastery, right? You have to basically, you can't just show up and you can't be good at it without putting in the time, right?
No, it's not possible. I mean, there's people that get good very quickly, but you
Mhm.
can see that they don't have like there's like this very, very like tiny, minute like movements, and like, you can do a trick, but you
Mhm.
can do a trick. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It's the same like with the joke. You can like say a joke monotone,
Mhm.
and you can say a joke with act outs, and you can say a joke with perfect timing, and you can
Right.
say it,
Right. Right.
and then
Right.
it takes time for you to get to the point where you can say the joke absolutely perfectly, and then people can say that is his joke. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. And
It's
and
like saying a bunch of dick jokes, like making dick jokes actually funny, but like to the point where people are like, whoa, you know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right. It's kind of like doing corny dad jokes, but in a way where everybody's like, "Oh, whoa, that was a really nice
That's
kind of."
very nice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. You did like you really
You
pulled that off.
simplify it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like simplify it to the max,
Mm-hmm.
basically as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But with simplifying it, you first you learn to like not
Mm-hmm.
simplify it and get as like crazy and technical as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and then bring it and condense all of the skills that
Mm-hmm.
you've gotten into like this
Mm-hmm.
one very small thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the like little flavor thing that only you can add to it.
So, so what's more difficult, comedy or skateboarding?
Shit, I don't know, man. Comedy is definitely more like not mentally stressing,
Mm.
because skateboarding sometimes can be a bitch, man. I swear. Like you could, like I've had situations where I can do like a trick for maybe 6 years, like
Right.
7 years straight. I can do this trick. I know I can do this trick. This
Mm-hmm.
is my trick.
Mm-hmm.
I can wake up fucking middle of the night, 3 a.m. Someone can wake me up and go, do that trick. And I'll do that trick.
Mm-hmm.
First try, super clean, super stylish, effortless, perfect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have that one day where I'll be stuck on this trick for maybe like 5 hours.
Right. Okay.
Just one trick. And it's just not going to work. Whatever I try, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work at all.
Is it because
And
you get in your own head, or is it just a muscle memory, or just like that day it doesn't click?
it's just everything in one. Like you get into your own head. Like first you try, and then you bail like weird.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, that was weird. And then try again, it's not working. Try again, it's not working. You're like, this is my fucking trick. Why is it fucking not working? You start getting slightly angry.
Right.
And you try and you try and you try, and then you go past the anger, and then you're into like a thing where it's like you're kind of bummed that you're not doing it, but at the same time you're like, fuck it, I'll just relearn it. It's fine.
Mm.
And then you pass that thing, and you're like, why the fuck? You back to the anger. You're like, why the fuck is this not working again? You're pissed off.
Right.
You fucking start being like, but you don't want to scream, so you like try and bottle it up.
Mm.
And then you just go crazy. You honestly go crazy. You need to be like fucked up in the head to like be skating for a long time straight
Yeah,
up.
I think it's and in terms of like basically you said you also were a sponsor at a point. How did you get to that point to get the exposure for the sponsorships? Were you like competing in competitions or?
I was like, so I skated.
Mm-hmm.
First I skated with this homie of mine that stopped skating like after like 2 months or whatever. Then I skated alone for a long time. Not a long time, but like a couple months, which felt like a long time back then because that was like the beginning.
Right.
And I was skating in the school a bunch, and then I went to the main skate spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that the kids that were skating at the main skate spot were not as good as I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like I just saw like internet videos. And
Right.
I was
Right.
like,
Right.
okay, this is the standard, so I gotta
Right.
like get to the
Right.
standard
Right.
as fast as I can, I
Right.
guess.
Right.
I don't know. But
Oh,
I just
that's
really
a
wanted to get good very
right.
quickly,
Right. Right. Right.
And then on the 7th month, I already got sponsored. Like there was like this big
Oh,
event
shit.
that was like skating streets. So you would go like with a big group of people. It's called Skateboarding Day. So that's on the 21st of June. Every single year there's like Go Skateboarding Day. And you go with all your friends or all the like skate community from where you're at, and you just travel through spots. Or at least that's how it was in Bulgaria. They don't really do that much here in Germany.
Right.
But in Bulgaria, you would like get all the people from all of Bulgaria, like from all the like little towns and everything. They would get to Sofia, which is the capital, and the whole day we would just like skate different spots around the city, you know. And there would be like cash for tricks, you know. You would like do tricks, you get cash, da da da.
Oh wow, that's
and it's a time where like the whole community from the whole country just comes in one,
right.
And it's like, let's say 50 people or something, like, or like 60 skateboarders and like filmers and photographers and all of that, and that's where you get your like time to shine thing,
right?
I don't know. And that was like the first one of these was when I was skating 7 months, and they just straight started sponsoring me after that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome, and I guess like the growth of this underground community, right?
Yeah.
Did you experience any of that kind of like discrimination in this part of the skateboard community, or is it a bit more accepting because of the the underlying kind of like?
Dude, quite honestly, I think that there's gonna be like some type of discrimination or like joking around in any type of community, but it's like it's the amount of like offense you take to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you can be like, if someone can like say a joke and you can be like, oh, my feelings are hurt.
Right.
Or you could just like just figure out that it's a joke like early on, and then it's fine for a little bit. But then like some people also don't. At one point, it's not a joke because they like they're like, oh, you know, fuck this guy for whatever reason, you know, and then they just like play you dirty. I got played dirty a bunch. That's why I was like, at one point I was like really, I just couldn't like be in Bulgaria anymore.
Right.
There's this one contest where I went to, and it was like a whole year contest. And so every month there's like two people that skate against each other. It's like a game of skate thing. Game of skate is like horse.
Right.
You do a trick and then I have to repeat it. If I don't land the trick, then I'm S.
Right.
Like that until skate.
Right.
And if you fail a trick, then that's my time to show a trick. But it's kind of like a battle. So we had these like battles throughout the whole year, right? 12 months, like people go against each other, people go against each other, people go against each other. And then at the end, the last month is like the people that got through all the rounds, the two people that got through all the rounds, get to like battle against each other. Right? And so we're at the final event. I got to the finals, and then this other dude got to the finals, and we're skating against each other, right? It's maybe like 1 hour of skating.
Right.
And at the end, they're like, because there was like a lot of crazy tricks, like crazy shit just went down, right? And at the end, we're like waiting for the results of the guy, and everyone is just like sitting there. And the guy's like, and the winner of the event is like the other dude, and everyone was like, boo!
Right.
Boo,
Okay. Right.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. They threw skateboards at the dude.
Oh,
they
wow.
were like, man, fuck this shit. Deo had to win.
Right.
Some bullshit. Blah blah. And they didn't change results. Nothing. The guy just like took away all his prizes and just went home. You know.
Right. Okay.
And that was the point where I was like, dude. It wasn't even like me being like, hey, I should have won. What is this shit? You know, I usually don't care about these things. I just go, I skate, I have as much fun as I can. I leave. If I win, I win. Whatever.
Right.
You know? But the people were like, yo, fuck this dude. Dio should have won. Yo, Dio, do something. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do, right? Interesting.
Yeah. And that was the point where I was like, nah, man, fuck this. I'm out.
Right. Okay. Just the system being a bit shitty, right? And I think a lot of I had a friend of mine as well who was basically a doctor in Romania for like 7 years, and this is like really relevant in the Corona situation. They were like, I spent 7 years of my life studying medicine. I've worked here. I've given everything for the country, and then like the fucking level of respect and reward is shit. So they ended up moving to Germany. But it is what it is, man. You gotta. I was writing a joke about that. How a lot of people are kind of disillusioned with what's happening in terms of the government and the system. And the joke is, you can't. A lot of times the kind of fallback response is you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? And then my response is you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can kill it.
You always want to kill fucking dogs and cats in your jokes, man.
I gotta go down that road, man. The little
you can put it down. You can put it down.
Yeah. No, like kill it sounds stronger. I think you going for the, and I've read it like in one of the books, and this is true. Words with K are funnier.
Yeah. It's like the thing that Patrice O'Neill said, like nigga in a Buick, blah blah blah, nigga in a Buick. And they didn't want him to do that joke. Basically, the punchline was like blah blah blah, nigga in a Buick.
Yeah.
And they didn't want him to do that joke because of saying Buick.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like it's not gonna be funny if it's blah blah blah, nigga in a Honda.
Right.
Buick
Yeah.
just puts a punch to it.
But I wanted to ask you, so like, when you said you were learning skateboard, you looked at the, online videos, and that was your standard, right? I think that's a very important thing to kind of, basically have that, let's just strive for something higher, right? Like in terms of a skill set and mastery. Do you have that kind of for comedy as well? Is there any particular comedian that you look at and be like, yeah, that's my standard of where I want to be?
Most definitely. Like I look at specials sometimes, and I would just, I would look at it once, I would laugh. I'd look at it twice, I would laugh. I'd look at it 3 times, I would laugh. I'd look at it 4 times, and I'm like, okay, why am I laughing? Just like can pinpoint all the. I'll first enjoy the special a couple times, and then I'll just like stare down to like pinpoint all the things that I want to be able to do with my jokes. You know what I mean?
So, what are the kind of comedians you look at the moment?
I watched Chris D'Elia special.
Okay, No Pain.
No Pain. Yeah, that shit was ridiculous. Then I went back to watch his older ones, Man on Fire and so on. And dude, all of his shit is fucking ridiculous. At least I thought it was ridiculous. Then a person that I look up to was like, dude, that guy's boring. Then I looked at the special again, and I didn't like it, and that bummed me out. Dude, I really liked it the first couple of times I saw it.
The thing is, a lot of people have their own kind of opinions because, comedy is subjective, right? You have your own style. And I think, especially and I think one of the reasons why you've kind of liked D'Elia, and I actually, I put it on my YouTube. I did I watched all 3 specials in the past kind of week. And I did like an analysis of like how many laughs per minute they have, how many act outs, how many kind of.
Yeah. I watched that video. Video. That's kind of why I like watched the D'Elia special, because Pascal posted something about it, and you posted something about it. I'm like, man, I'll watch this.
And I actually
didn't know he was like a proper comedian, man.
Bro, and I actually thought like, the No Pain is probably one of his best ones in terms of, just because the thing is you have to take it from a more objective lens, right? And what I saw with No Pain is you kind of see the, the first one in Incorrigible, he's straight up silly, right? He does. And I liked Incorrigible a lot. It's a very long special, a lot of fun, the dancing and the stuff, very physical. And then the second one, he tries to be a bit more message oriented about, you're not
with the yin and yang type shit, and you're not special. Dude, this guy is fucking good. I don't know. I like this dude.
So that's the thing, is you can't really let other people's opinions kind of inform your opinion because, to some degree, because especially for, especially with kind of some of your style of comedy and like, the area that you're kind of going into the more silly stuff, like the guy with the driving, I think actually it might be better for you to look at Chris D'Elia as one of the comedians to kind of, maybe emulate, because you have like physical silliness, right? And people like the silliness.
The thing is that I'm just, if it's comedy related stuff, I just try and see like what's the whole spectrum of things that you can say, and what's the whole like spectrum. I don't want to be like pigeonholed.
Yeah, I agree.
And like I'm a speaking comedian, I'm an act out comedian. I'm trying to like take all the tools that I can to give you something that's funny, and I'm trying to see like how much things you can put funny in, just random shit. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of like my take on it as well. Like, I think when I first kind of started, thinking a bit more serious, I kind of did this exercise. Like, can I write a joke in every style? So can I write a joke in like the Jessel, Nick Offensive style? Can I write a joke in the silly kind of like D'Elia style? Can I write a dark joke in like the Louis C.K. style? And then kind of once you experience all the styles, you'll be like, oh, this actually seems like a better fit for me. But I do think like being able to kind of give
I didn't try that though.
You should try that. You should try writing a joke in like all the styles and then be like, okay, this is not what I like, or this is, because, and then you can kind of figure out, this is like with skateboarding, right? The way you have all these styles and then, you combine them in something that, is yours, right? You put them in an order that's like, okay, I'm the guy that does like the cute stuff, the dark stuff, the cultural stuff, the racist stuff, the sexist stuff, if you want to do that. Or like the family stuff. You should watch like, have you seen Sebastian Maniscalco?
No.
So this guy is the Italian-American guy. He works very clean, but he's extremely physical. So I definitely recommend, if you like D'Elia, I would definitely recommend Sebastian Maniscalco, because he is more of he's in the same kind of vein as D'Elia, but more family-oriented, more cultural kind of elements. So, he talks about...
I don't know. I like when I see just like someone say something, and then he has like, exactly as he says it, he has like a very sharp, like, act out to the way that he sees it in his head, and then when he says it and he acts it out, and then you see it the way he sees it in his head, like very clearly. That's what I'm trying to do,
I'll send you a clip after this of it's like a 2-minute clip of this guy Sebastian Maniscalco. It's really funny. I think you'll like it. But yeah, that's how I look at it as well. Like I try to deconstruct and kind of see what works for me. So that's why I started looking at the laps per minute, because I think there is definitely a common denominator, right? I think if you want to, especially a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of shit on Reddit for my LPM analysis from like all these Reddit comedians, these Reddit experts. They're like, yeah, you can't do that. If by that denomination, Carlin would have never passed the LPM test, and I disagree. Most of the
that's also kind of true, because Carlin is just like a fucking amazing wordsmith, and
but
I don't know. That's why when I see I see laughs per minute, and I understand like the idea behind it, right?
mm-hmm.
Because there's some type, as much as we were talking about like, oh, this style, that style, laughs are kind of the currency in comedy. Anyway.
Exactly. So the idea is,
at the same time, it's like I wouldn't like completely agree. I wouldn't completely agree with the thing of like laughs per minute,
right?
Because there's some shit that just like needs time for it to like settle in, and you can like.
I mean, I did like Chappelle's last, Sticks and Stones, right? And it has one of the lowest laughs per minute compared to all the other ones. It has like 4.5.
That's just hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying it's not an ultimate metric, but same with Carlin, But before Carlin got to the point where he already commands the attention of the audience, he had to like basically build up the reputation on like just jokes, right? So I think, I think basically what I'm kind of starting to reach the conclusion is, I think just generally you should strive for 5 to 5.5, 6. I think if you have 5, you also have enough room to kind of say what you want to say, but then basically you can also be funny, right?
What do you mean, 5 laughs per minute?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the sweet spot. Like 5, I think 4 is maybe a bit too little, but 5 is kind of the right amount. So that's like 1 every 12 seconds, right? And it doesn't have to be just punchlines. It can be just like physical, voice characteristics, act outs, right? But that's kind of like the denominator that I've seen. Have you seen Mark Maron's like End Times Fun?
No.
Yeah, he kind of does like 5, and this Sebastian guy, he does 5 as well, and it's mostly physical stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is that effectively that, especially as you're coming up as a new comedian, I think you need to basically command the audience attention by just showing that you're funny, right?
Yeah.
In order to get them to care about the message.
Yeah.
And then, you can kind of go into the message, you can play around.
If you have a message.
If you have a message, yeah.
I haven't like iced out exactly or like sharpened out what my message would be or some shit.
And I think,
but I'm just having fun on stage, and hopefully like people enjoy it too. You know what I mean?
And I think you don't really need to have that at the beginning. I think it's just kind of like something that evolves with what you do. But for me, I've kind of like I think I found a nice spot in terms of just doing a lot of cultural shout outs. I think people enjoy that because again, it's about like making people enjoy your comedy, right? And what I've noticed is,
in what way?
Just like, the Polish people, I went to Poland and, I went to Vienna and I met this Polish couple, that Polish joke I have about the Vienna people, about like, I asked the Polish people, hey guys, do you have any suggestions what I should visit while I'm here in Vienna? And one of the guys says, you should go to the cemetery. I'm like, oh my God, why? And then he says, free entry.
Okay.
The little Polish travel hack. And then I say, free entry. And if you try really hard, free jewelry.
You're horrible, man.
Yeah, so they kind of like this kind of stuff.
Wait, I have a lucky 8 ball. Let's ask if that joke was hilarious.
What's that?
Lucky 8 ball. Is this joke hilarious that he just said?
I think it knows what's up.
Don't count on it.
What a hater.
Wait. Let me just see.
Okay. What a hater.
Can you see it?
I can see it. Yeah, don't count on it. Yeah. I was gonna say, but again, it's kind of like playing around and making sure that the audience enjoys the show, right? I think that's the best thing because if the audience enjoys, they'll come back for more, right? Then the audience enjoys when they're involved, and I see that's why you kind of notice the success of some of these shows that involve the audience because they just kind of want to be part of the action as well, right? And I think you do a lot of that as well, like the interactions with the crowd and kind of like hyping them up. I think you have a lot of high energy. I think if not, you're probably one of the highest energies comedians on the scene here. Who's higher energy than you?
Dude, don't ask me a question
Tyrone?
like this.
Tyrone is very high energy. Yeah, Tyrone, maybe Carmen. But yeah, they like kind of being involved. And I think, as long as you have that at the forefront in terms of you just being entertaining, it's going to work out well. But how long have you been in comedy now for? A year and a half?
I started November. So,
okay.
Well, now it's basically a year and a half. but you know what I mean. We haven't been doing comedy in a bit, so.
Right. How'd you pick it up? Was it how did you get into the scene actually?
Oh, dude, it was weird. So I always wanted to do stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to write a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to write a lot because I've been writing since I was like 9 or like since 8. Not necessarily comedy, but I used to write a lot of poetry, a lot of books and stuff. Anyway, and I used to write, and I was like, damn, I want to do comedy a lot, and I would just like make jokes around people, you know, and people, oh, why don't you do comedy? Why don't you do comedy? That like normal thing that everyone gets to do, right? Or like that people say like, I'm very funny around my friends, you know. And I was like, dude, I really want to try this because I was watching like stand up for a bunch. My sister like showed me Chappelle, and then she showed me like Russell Peters, and I would just like watch a shit ton of comedy after that. Just be like hella like hyped on it because laughter is the best thing. I don't know. Whatever.
Did you watch any Bulgarian comedy, or is it just the foreign, like American English?
There is Bulgarian comedy. There's a bunch of Bulgarian comedy too. I even went to like a Bulgarian comedy show, but it was more like a sketch comedy show on stage. It was kind of weird. I don't know. I didn't like it that much. Anyway, but I was like, all right, let's try and do this. And in Düsseldorf, I really wanted to do it, but I couldn't because there was like no open mics or anything.
Right.
But I managed to trick this DJ guy into telling him that I was like actual proper comedian because like I made their group laugh a shit ton. They're like, oh, dude, are you a comedian? And I'm like, yes. I hadn't even done one set yet, but I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian. And they're like, yeah, we have this like party if you want to do like some comedy. Like, how long would you need?
Oh my God.
Like, I think like 20-30 minutes would be fine. And they're like, yeah, dude, whatever, get it. And like I go to this place, right? And it turns out to be this like huge whatever, like not arena, but it was like a concert hall.
Oh my God.
For like a techno party, like a big like thing for a techno party.
Comedian before a techno party. Oh, it's already shaping up to be like a disaster. Is it a disaster?
No, actually it was fine. I did like 25, I think, and people were like laughing. They were like clapping. They're like, "Oh, this is so funny!" Whatever. Then afterwards, they would like come up to me and like some random people like, "Oh, you're here for a long time." Anyway, but after that, I came to Berlin, and then I tried to do it here, and then I figured out that there's more open mics. I went to one that was in German, and I was like, "Could I do it in English?" And they're like, "Yeah, fine."
Right.
And I did the Kookaburra one.
Okay.
I don't know if you know it.
Is that Drew? Is that Drew run around or is it?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Indian guy.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was like some German. There's like this German comedian. There was like, oh, there's English shows. Why don't you go to the English shows? I was like, I didn't know. And then he pointed me to Joke Time, and from there on, I just met other comedians. They told me about Sunday Slips.
Right.
Slips and Joke Time constantly, and then they told me there's more mics, but you'd have to sign up online.
Right.
And then I started signing up online, and then
just came into the scene.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's really kind of like very fortunate to have all this stage time here. Well, had all the stage time here, and hopefully get it back once we kind of hit it again, right?
I don't know, man. To be completely honest, the way that it looks to me, at least, because people, just in general, humans are a creature of habit, right?
Right.
And right now, they're creating a habit of being away from people.
Right.
I think that if this continues on for, I don't know, let's say it continues on for a month and a half more, right? Because it needs to go until what was it, August 30th? That's when the bars supposedly will open.
No. That's for the that's for the big events. Events over 5,000.
I don't know, dude. I don't think that people are gonna start like coming together again very soon. You know what I mean? They already created a habit of being scared of people,
right,
and just being together in a group and laughing like out loud and like having this the people think like, oh, there's spit around me when people are laughing. I'm gonna inhale all of. I don't think it's gonna return as quickly as people want it to return. Right. I hope so. I honestly do hope so because I'm freaking out without this.
Right.
I got my mic here and I do mic shows to myself and to my girlfriend. But like, I want to scream in people's faces again, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna have to play and see. I mean, the way that I'm looking at it as well, I'm trying to like, naturally kind of the way that I've kind of like the negative mindset of me is like, oh, this is a problem and it's gonna be, whatever. And I've been very resistant to like the change as well because I've been like, no, it's gonna come back in May. This is gonna come back in May, right? But I do think it's going to be like
not come back in May.
I mean, it's still a chance, bro. Don't like shatter the dream. It's not May yet. Because the thing is, if they open like transportation, they open all the bars, and they open all the fucking schools and stuff. It's a 30 for room per people with comedy a bar. It's not going to be as bad as like the public transport or the shops, right? Or like schools.
No.
So I'm hoping it will be back like mid-May or something. But the other way I'm looking at it is like,
dude, if it's back mid-May, I'm gonna blow the fuck up, dude. I have so much fucking pent-up energy to fucking just burst on people. I'm gonna be like, dude.
But I think it's the way I think the way it's going to look like, it's most likely going to be maybe like small groups. Like, for example, in Sweden, you're allowed to have like a small gathering, or at least you were at the start of the pandemic, as long as it was under 50 people. And 50 people is more than we need, right? It's more than
that's for sure. But like, no, okay, I'm gonna put it in this perspective. Whatever. Let's say Spanish flu, right?
Right.
How the Spanish flu worked way back.
Right.
Because supposedly it's a thing that happens every I don't know how much years, but it just a pandemic appears.
Right.
The previous one was like 100 and a couple years ago, whatever. But it appears and then it takes some time and then it leaves and then people can like regroup and like be normal again, whatever. But the previous one was 1 year was kind of like people died, but they didn't really, I don't know if you read about the whole history.
I haven't.
Type of shit. Anyway, so it's like for first year was kind of like weak. So basically like this thing, so people were dying and no one was really saying shit. Only the Spanish were like, yo, we have like some pandemic thing happening, but the other ones weren't just really reporting on it. That's why it's called the Spanish flu anyway.
Right. Coincidentally, same thing now, like Spain is getting hit hard, right?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, the first year was kind of weak and then it kind of died down and people were like, hey, it's fine again, let's go and like be normal. Right. And then it like hit twice as hard and like way more people died. And like the second year of the fucking thing was like super intense. Like the second and third year were very, very, very intense. Shit ton of people died.
Right.
And the fourth year was like the weak one again, like the first one, and then it like just like passed away.
I think, it's like kind of like comes every 100 years, seems like it, right?
Something like that, yeah.
But I think now we have vaccines and stuff. So to be honest, I'm not super worried about like the recurring of it.
No,
I think
I'm not obviously like before they didn't have like fucking medical situations that are as good as this one, but no.
Yeah, they weren't eating ass back in the day. Now where everybody's eating ass, the immunity is up.
Yeah, butt chugs.
But yeah, we'll see how it kind of turns out. I think, the way to look at it is an opportunity to build more stuff online, right? So for yourself as well, I'd suggest you just, put more stuff online. If you have any material, just dump it out there, man.
That's what I'm doing, man.
And kind of take the opportunity to build like this online audience. Because I think for us as well, and I was talking to Chris about it as well, there isn't really an opportunity to blow up as a comedian with Comedy Central or like Netflix or that kind of stuff. So you have to be like full on YouTube, right?
There's not an opportunity to blow up as a Netflix comedian?
Yeah, not yet, at least. You need to I think you need to blow up as a YouTube comedian before Netflix even looks at you, right?
You think?
I think so, because, the way that they kind of go about it, a lot of these businesses, they make decision based on how much money they can make, right?
Yes and no. I mean, also, like, if you have connections to specific people and if, let's say, you're opening for people already before you're a YouTube person.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get you get noticed.
Yeah, technically, but again, there's
a lot of routes to go. It's not like just this is the only way. There's like here, and here. And
I mean, realistically, now what are the routes? It's like the Netflix, the what do you call it? Not the next, the industry route, which is basically where you go to like big festivals, you perform at festivals, you get noticed, you start doing stuff, and then there's a YouTube route, and then in the US there's the late time the route, right, where you kind of start performing in late night shows and then start writing for different kind of stuff. So I think that industry aspect.
I heard people don't even bat an eye if you've been like on a late night show.
Really?
For example, for the Comedy Cellar, let's say you want to go on the Comedy Cellar, right? I heard that. I mean, I'm not sure because I have no fucking idea. So whoever is watching this, just don't take my fucking whatever. But I've talked to some people and supposedly like they don't give a fuck if you've had. Even if you've had like, let's say you had a Netflix special, right?
Right.
That counts as like one credit.
Right.
Let's say let's use credits. That counts as one credit. If you've been on TV, that counts as one credit too.
Right.
If you have a podcast that's like viewed or you've been on one of the big podcasts, that counts as another credit.
Right.
And if you don't have like shit ton of credits plus people that actually do Comedy Cellar very often, to
vouch for you.
How do you call it? To vouch for you?
Right.
There ain't no way. comedy style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but so the goal is like just don't aim for that, right? Don't aim for the comedy cellar. Aim for like I think the goal is build your own audience, right?
I mean, completely honestly, I have no freaking idea. My whole idea is like my whole like I don't know. Let's say my thought about it
Mhm.
is the most people that you can like,
Like,
gravitate
mm.
to, and the more people that can hear you and see you and so forth, the better. I have like zero idea about growing an audience. I have, I'm not into this like,
I mean,
and I'm not saying I'm not into this a lot, but I just haven't like thought in that way.
and I
I just
think it's.
like hella funny first,
I
and
agree. I
then
agree. I agree.
whatever
I mean,
comes to it, I'm happy with it.
and it's the right mindset to have, like a couple of years at the comedy. I think that's exactly the kind of mindset you have to have. All right, man. Yeah, so basically, I'm thinking of wrapping it up. Do you have any questions for me? And if any other input you want to add to the Labrador Energy podcast before we kind of wrap it up?
I don't know. I wanted to ask you like how long have you been doing it now?
So I've been doing it about like 5 years and a half now. So I started off in Singapore, right? I was working in Singapore at the time, and basically, there were open mics there because it's a very very heavy in terms of English. English is the language there, and they have a lot of expats and a lot of American, British expats. And basically, they had since 2006 they had a show running that was every weekly, right? And because you can charge so much more money in Singapore than any other places, they used to charge like maybe $20 to $30 for entrance. So then that meant, 200 people room. That meant they could bring people over from the States. So they would bring people over there. We had the small little open mic scene there. There was like 2 free open mics a week. And then you could go up and perform there. And, I performed at one of the mics there. I used to do like Romania, the Malaysia of Europe. And then basically people would laugh because like everybody was raced against Malaysia. And then they immediately understood what it was. And then I managed to do like 3 minutes opening for some of the comedians that were coming from the US. And that's kind of when I started. And then I moved over to Estonia. And Estonia, surprisingly, had more open mics a week than Singapore.
Okay, so 5 years into it, right? What is your mindset on it?
I mean, the mindset is like, the way that I think about it is there's a lot of opportunity in Europe per se to grow, right? Because for me now, obviously I'm thinking of it as a professional comedian full time. How do you kind of survive, right? Because if this is your only kind of stream of income.
So right now this is your only stream of income. You don't work anywhere.
Yeah, but I have like basically I've been doing pretty well for the past year, right? It's been working out quite well, and I started off with some savings, right? But yeah, the answer is now I'm a full-time YouTuber.
For real?
Yeah, but obviously.
So right now in this Corona like weirdness, do you still get by? Are you good?
Yeah, man. I had like enough savings and I made enough money. Like in September to this is what I'm saying. Like in terms of September to December last year, and even January, I made a good amount of money. Like I got to the point where I was making the same money and even a bit more than I was making at my day job a month from comedy. And that's like relatively with no name and just jokes, right? So the situation is like, okay, had the things gone well throughout this past, then that September, fucking April, March, and May would have gone on. I would have had like done pretty well, right? So it scales up, right? Because the demand for comedy is here in Europe, and the idea is there's more and more English fluency in Europe, right? And there's more and more kind of people getting educated on comedy because of Netflix. So what happens in Europe now is you have the demand for comedy. People would generally would love to see live comedy in Europe, like middle class, upper middle class, people in Europe speak English. They work for tech companies. They want to get comedy because they see it on Netflix. But there is nobody doing it in Europe because it's especially in English because they want to see it in English, like Netflix, right? But there aren't people doing it because it's so difficult to get good at it because you need stage time in English, right?
Yeah.
And, if you look at Copenhagen, one of the biggest, most international cities in Europe, they have
that much open mics.
Bro, they have none. Now they have like one a month, or like I think now they're starting exactly right. And basically in the past year, I did 6 sold out shows in Copenhagen. Of the same hour.
Wait, question. So, how long were you like working and doing comedy at the same time?
Maybe like 4 years, 4 years and a half. Yeah. 4 years.
4 years and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long from the moment that you completely quit work to the moment that you were making a little bit more money from comedy than you were from your day job did it take you?
Maybe about a year, I guess.
About a year to get to that point.
Yeah, because but again, it's like a lot of my job when I'm doing these shows is not comedy; it's just like event organizing, right? And running Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of basically just setting up my own kind of shows and stuff. But basically, for the first year, I kind of broke even. And now basically in the second year, things started going on the uptrend. Because I think, I also, if you look at it in the past year, I did about 80 cities in Europe, right? And, I went to
80
Sofia,
cities?
80 cities, yeah.
That's
and
insane, dude. How did you organize 80 cities in
I
one
just,
year?
yeah, man. I just, I spent that whole summer last year basically just reaching out to bars and kind of setting it up. When I was doing shows in the evening, during the day, I was just kind of setting up the tour. So it's basically
And you did absolutely everything yourself,
everything.
right?
Yeah, everything.
No one helped you out, nothing. You
Nobody,
don't have no agents, no
no
people to
agents,
connect you.
nada. And basically, the way that I would do it is, the first email that I sent out was like, "Hi, I'm a Romanian comedian. I'd like to do a show in English here."
Mm,
Niet, nope.
nothing.
So then I would start doing basically, I'm a comedian, performer all over the world. I perform in Singapore, perform in Malaysia. I just say this kind of stuff, which is true, right? Perform in Berlin. And then basically what I would say, I would reach out to bars that would give me the bar for free. And I'd say, hey man, let's do it on a Tuesday when you don't have as much business. And then, post in Facebook group, run Facebook ads. And then people would be like, yeah, a lot of people would come to the show, not because I was coming there, but because it was English stand-up. I was advertised as English stand-up. And a lot of people just want to see English stand-up live because they've seen it on Netflix. So then, I went and, you always have like small little communities of only English speakers. Let's say Sofia, right? I went to Sofia. Yeah. I did it at, what was it called? There's this rock kind of place. Mixtape, that was the one, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I know shit.
And then I had like about like 60 people, right? And a lot of them would be like people that were basically working for international companies, people that were studying in Sofia, and people that didn't speak Bulgarian, right? So they were like, holy shit, there's an English event in Sofia. Let's check it out. So that was the draw. And, obviously you post into the expat groups, just like we do with the comedy shows here, right? And you will find an audience for
Did you start touring with people or by yourself?
By myself, because it doesn't work with people because you can't make enough money to support the traveling and accommodation for two people, right? I mean, true. Potentially you might be able to do it if you do 2 shows a night, but you don't know if it's going to be enough demand for 2 shows a night, right?
Gotcha.
So actually me and Chris did a show in Heidelberg early this year. We did 2 shows one night. Both shows sold out, 100 people each. Nice. So that was, okay, in some locations you can do 2 shows a night. You just got to up and we made like, I think it was like 400, 500 each on those shows that night.
So did you start doing shows first in Germany, like different cities in Germany, or did you straight start trying to shit in like different?
So interestingly enough, the first show I did was Bratislava in Slovakia. Okay. I don't know why. I have no idea. So then that was basically, I ended up losing money on that one. I ended up losing like 100 euros. But I got like 25 people. And, it was my first time doing my 1 hour outside of Berlin. And then I did Copenhagen the second time. And then Copenhagen.
But before that, you have been doing your hour here in Berlin, right?
Yeah, I did it like 3 times in Berlin. Just at like in Kreuzberg. Yeah, just to have an idea of the flow, right?
Okay.
And then basically I did Copenhagen. In Copenhagen, the first time, it was my second full-time show. And then I had 110 people. I was like, what the fuck? And that was like immensely profitable. That show, I made like 100 euros 800 euros on that show. Insane, right? Show. Yeah. But then obviously...
How much do you charge for like tickets and shit?
I was charging like about 12... so that was a very fortunate situation because I think they never had stand-up at the time. Now it's a bit more expensive to do the ads, but I only spent about like 150 euros on ads for that particular show and, transportation, whatever. And then it was such a high demand for Copenhagen that I ended up kind of making a lot of money on that show. Then I went back and the money started getting lower and lower because I guess the more people had seen it and whatever. But then obviously that really gave me a good kind of like... gave me a good amount of like, a bit of a cushion to kind of afford losses in some other places. Because I did lose money in some places where like I should have, maybe I fucked up some flights. I missed planes because I overslept, whatever. This one time I fell asleep in front of the gate at the airport and I missed the flight.
Oh shit. Because you were that tired?
Yeah. Because you have to do everything by yourself.
On the way back?
On the way to a show. So then I had I had to go get a 16-hour bus overnight to the place because I didn't want to pay like 600 for a next kind of ticket. Anyway, there's a lot of these kind of stories.
And so did you fail the show or did you?
No, I got there in time.
Hella tired to do a show.
I had to go from Luxembourg to Stuttgart, basically.
You're wild, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then, you kind of figured out all these kinks and now you kind of have the idea how it works. So you just got to, do more and more and just come up with new material, right? But, the fact is the demand is there and you just have to kind of build the network and the infrastructure and just get more people out. And then that's what we were doing. Me and Chris were doing at the start of this year we ended up like basically setting up a show for Oliver did his 1 hour in Copenhagen and we produced it. Then Tyrone as well. Yeah. And then we produced it for Tyrone in Munich, and that went great. And just kind of like the other locations. So it's possibility to make money is there.
But wait, you're producing shows for people?
Yeah, that's what we were starting at the start of the year, like people that have 1 hour. But the idea is that people have to be comfortable with just doing the door. First of all, that's one of the most difficult things because there's no one else to do the door for you, and you have to run the whole show by yourself.
Yeah.
So
that's normal though, no?
I mean, not for, normal in Europe, I guess, normal for us, but like in the UK and the US, that's not normal because usually people have like 2 free comedians on a night and, there's an opener, there's a bit, and but this is the normal for us, I guess.
Yeah, because we're just starting off and we're trying to like get there.
Yeah, and then, I did a couple of shows in Norway and Sweden. Those ended up being super profitable. That ended up making me some money to kind of, cover some of the other losses. And I love doing shows in the Nordics because you can charge like 20 euros for a ticket. And it's basically 15 to 20 because they have more money, right? So it's you can actually make a living out of it, but then again the question comes, all right, if you want to go away from doing small venues over and over and over, you have to go to bigger venues. But how do you scale to bigger venues? That's kind of the situation where I'm at the moment, because not only do you have to, what you want to do is you want to do a big venue like 200 people or like 300 people and spend as little money as ads as possible, right?
Yeah, so you can spend basically, let's say 120 euros on ads, the same that you spend for a small room, but fill out a big room.
But because the problem that occurs when you get a big room is you can't get a 300 person room for free.
Obviously.
So you have to pay for it. Now, so now you have extra costs. So then the idea is how do you kind of, how can you get 300 people in a big room that you're paying for while also doing ads? You take a lot more risk, right? So in that situation, you have to have an audience. So that's why, the goal is to build more of an audience on YouTube and on other social media. So then people know, I know that guy.
You can post on social media and
then that leads. So for example, when like a big comedian kind of, for example, when Dave Chappelle does a show in Berlin, he doesn't have to run.
He doesn't need to do much, yeah.
Bro, Dave Chappelle's coming. People will share it and people will click on it and that's organically will work, right?
Yeah, because they're like, whoa, Chappelle.
Exactly. So that's kind of the goal, going to that direction. But always the answer.
Chappelle, dude, come on.
Yeah. But the answer to all this stuff is, just write more. Because if you have more material, then you can put more online, then more people can see it. You don't have to worry about them not coming to the show because they've already seen it online and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
So that's why I'm trying to write more material. But I'm almost done writing a second hour. So just trying to basically, get that on the road. Hopefully, most likely I won't be able to go back on the road until September, but we'll see.
But wait, so I'll ask. So you like write jokes and you just like straight are able to do them?
No, I gotta test them. That's the problem.
That's what I mean. Because I can write like 3 hours of jokes today. You know what I mean? But
you need to.
It's gonna work. You know what I mean?
So that's why I need to come back here and test out material, right? So that's why usually the way I think about it is like summer and December-ish. I need to be here and test jokes. I mean, the ideal situation for me would be to be out in the weekends, do 2 shows a night, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, and then 4 days a week be in Berlin and test out material. And right. That's the ideal situation. That's how they do it in the US. They only do shows on the weekends because in the weekends more people come out to the shows because they don't have work next day, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the ideal space. But for last year, the only way to kind of, make it suitable and make it worthwhile is to kind of, do shows almost every day to kind of, not double pay on rent and food. Because, if you're waiting a whole weekend in, Stockholm and you're paying rent in Berlin and in Stockholm and food, then it's too much cost, right?
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it is. But I'm confident that it's going to pick up and it's going to be more and more stuff happening going into the future. So only positive things to look forward to, bro.
Nice, solid, man.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for all the information, man. You kicked ass.
All good, man. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah.
All day, buddy. Let's get it.
All right.